Whoa. I just dreamed I was about to play in a huge video game tournament. I was on stage with thousands of people watching, and when I picked up the controller, my hands were empty. No controller, no idea what game we were playing. Everyone was staring. Why does my brain do this to me?
It does not do it to torture you, though I know that is exactly how it feels. Your brain is actually doing its job. You just do not understand the job description yet.
Then explain it. Why do we even dream? What is the point of waking up in a cold sweat because I forgot a fake controller?
You dream between 3 and 6 times every single night. Each dream lasts anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes. And by the time you finish brushing your teeth in the morning, you have already forgotten 95% of them. That is not a memory problem. That is your brain actively hiding something from you on purpose.
Wait, so my brain is deleting my dreams like it is clearing browser history?
That is actually not a terrible comparison. But stay until the end, because once you understand why your brain does this, you will never look at nightmares the same way again. Today, we are looking at the hidden psychology behind why you dream, and why the weirdest dreams are actually the most useful ones you will ever have. Act 1. Your brain's night shift janitor. The first and most important job of dreaming is memory consolidation. While you are asleep, your brain replays the day's experiences and decides what to keep for the long term and what to throw away. This is why students who review their notes right before bed tend to remember more the next morning. And here is the really strange part. Sometimes an experience takes an entire week to show up in your dreams. Psychologists call this dream lag. Your brain is not being lazy. It is carefully filing paperwork in the background while you rest.
So I am basically paying rent for a brain that reruns my worst moments like a bad movie marathon every single night?
It is called consolidation, and it actually helps you learn and grow. But yes, dreaming about failing a test or forgetting something important is not a psychic prediction of the future. It is simply your brain moving that memory into long-term storage so you do not repeat the same mistake.
Great, so nightmares are just my brain's way of saying, hey, remember that time you messed up?
Not exactly. Nightmares have a completely different job. And here's the part most people really don't want to hear. Your brain isn't giving you these nightmares by accident. It's doing it on purpose. Act 2 explains why, and you'll never fall asleep right away again. Act 2. The survival drill you didn't sign up for. Here is the uncomfortable truth about nightmares that most people never realize. They are not random. According to the threat simulation theory, your brain runs a nightly drill to rehearse how you would recognize and escape dangerous situations. That dream about being chased by something scary? Your amygdala is stress testing your fight or flight response. It is not a punishment for something you did wrong. It is a survival gym that operates while you sleep.
Whew. So my brain is trying to help me by giving me a heart attack at 3 in the morning? That is the worst training program I have ever heard of.
It is actually surprisingly effective. Annoying, but effective. A 2022 study found that during the pandemic, people had significantly more distressing dreams than before, not because the world had become more dangerous at night, but because their brains ramped up threat rehearsal when real danger was present in their daily lives.
So nightmares are basically just current events with jump scares and bad special effects?
That is exactly right. The difference between a regular dream and a nightmare is not the content. It is the emotional intensity. But here's the strange part. Your brain works hard to give you these dreams, and then it works just as hard to erase them. And Act 3 explains why this isn't a contradiction. It's intentional. Act 3. Why forgetting is the real superpower. You forget 95% of your dreams within minutes of waking up. And that is not a flaw in your memory. It is a deliberate design feature. Neuroscientists have identified specific neurons that release a hormone called MCH during REM sleep, and those neurons actively suppress the consolidation of dream memories. Your brain is literally built to forget dreams as soon as they end.
So even my own brain thinks my dreams are too weird and embarrassing to remember? That feels kind of rude, honestly.
It is not rude, it is efficient. The real benefit of dreaming comes from the process of dreaming itself, not from waking up and trying to analyze every strange image. Forgetting clears the hard drive so your brain can run another round of simulations the next night without getting clogged up with old, irrelevant data.
Okay, that is actually kind of cool.
Please do not sound so surprised. Act 4, grabbing the director's chair. Lucid dreaming happens when you become aware that you are dreaming while you are still inside the dream. In that state, some people can actually control what happens next. They can fly, change the scenery, or turn a terrifying nightmare into a ridiculous comedy. Research has shown that lucid dreaming can reduce the frequency of nightmares, lower anxiety and depression symptoms, and even improve real-world problem-solving skills.
Wait, so you are telling me I could just choose to dream about winning a huge esports tournament instead of being chased by a clown with a chainsaw clown?
Hypothetically, yes. But in practice, you would probably end up dreaming about spending all the prize money on an army of smaller clowns to fight the original chainsaw clown. You're never quite as in control as you think you are. But please, keep believing otherwise. It makes for entertaining dreams.
Still sounds better than waking up sweaty and confused at 3 in the morning.
That is true. But here's the problem. Even if you had control, your brain would still lie to you. Nightmares don't feel real because your mind is weak. They feel real because your brain makes them real. Act 5 shows exactly how. And once you know that, you'll never experience nightmares the same way again.
Act 5. The senses your nightmares hide. A 2024 study asked over 500 people to keep detailed dream diaries, and the results were fascinating. Vision is the most common sensory experience in dreams, but nightmares contain significantly more touch and sound than regular dreams do. That is why being chased in a nightmare feels so terrifyingly real. Your brain is not just showing you a movie, it is feeding you physical sensations of fear, pressure, and noise to make the threat feel urgent.
So my nightmare monster does not just look scary, it actually feels scary? Like I can feel it breathing on my neck and hear its footsteps right behind me?
That is exactly what happens. That is why nightmares stick with you long after you wake up, while pleasant dreams fade away like morning fog. Your brain tags nightmares as important because the sensory intensity signals a possible real-world threat.
So dreams are basically a horror movie that I am starring in against my will, with full surround sound and special effects?
Sometimes, yes. But the most terrifying dreams are not the ones with monsters or chainsaws. They are the ones that show you just a mirror and a face you don't like. Act 6 is the only one where there's nothing to laugh about, but it's the most important one.
Act 6. The dream you keep having. Recurring dreams are not random glitches in your brain's software.
They are your mind's way of pointing at something that you have not resolved in your waking life. A 2023 study found that dreams about death often link to anxiety disorders, not because you are psychically predicting death, but because your brain is rehearsing the experience of loss so that you might be better prepared for it. The same goes for dreams about being naked in public, missing an important exam, or losing your teeth. These are not prophecies. They are your brain saying very clearly,
Hey, you are still worried about this thing. Maybe we should deal with it.
I keep dreaming that I am about to play in a tournament and I forgot my controller. Or I do not know the game. Or everyone is staring at me like I am a joke.
That dream is not about video games at all. It is about feeling unprepared or being judged by people whose opinions matter to you. Your brain just uses the tournament setting because it is familiar and emotionally charged for you.
So how do I make that dream stop coming back?
You do not make it stop by ignoring it. You listen to what it is telling you, and then you change something while you are awake. That is the only real cure for a recurring dream.
That sounds way harder than learning how to lucid dream.
Most worthwhile things are harder than the shortcut version. Congratulations, you are learning.
So, my brain is sending me a message every single night. I just never read it.
That is actually the smartest summary you have ever produced.
I am full of surprises.
Evidently. So tell us, what is the dream you keep having? The school nightmare? Being chased? Losing your teeth? Write it in the comments. You might be surprised how many other people have the exact same dream. See you in the next deep dive.